It was during this time that a number of people were like, okay God, you're the boss. Fine. But I'm in middle management, okay? These people became kings. We've already met one of them, the Pharaoh of Egypt, and in this chapter we're meeting 9 more. No, wait, 10. One of these guys is Kedorlaomer, the king of Elam. He has managed to rule over other kings for 12 years. So he's a real piece of work. But in the 13th year, there's a revolt. 5 kings are sick of Kedorlaomer's shit and decide to team up. These kings are Bera of Sodom, Birsha of Gomorrah, Shinab of Atma, Shemeber of Zeboim, and one other guy who I guess doesn't have a name. He's the king of Zoar, but we're suddenly calling that place Bela now. Don't ask me why. It's not even in Italy. Anyway, these 5 kings challenge Kedorlaomer. But Kedorlaomer still has 3 friends. Amraphel, the king of Shinar, Arioch of Elasar, and Tidal of Goyim. So it's 5 against 4. Ready. Set. Wait, hold on, time out, pause. Kedorlaomer and his buddies are putting the entire conflict on hold for a full year to fight some completely unrelated people. They go to Ashtaroth Karnaim to beat the Rephites, to Ham to beat the Zuzites, to Shaphe Kiriathaim to beat the Emites, and to Seir to beat the Horites. That's as far as El Paran, near the desert. So, really far. Probably. Then they go back and take An-Mishpat, also known as Kadesh, from the Amalekites. And fuck it, why not? They also take Hazazon Tamar from the Amorites. Then they finally go to the Valley of Siddim, next to the Dead Sea, to fight the 5 kings who have been waiting for this battle for a fucking year. So, the 5 kings have 2 advantages. They're in the majority, it's 5 against 4, and they've had a lot of time to prepare for this battle, while Kedorlaomer and co were off fighting other people. The question is, did they use this time? And the answer appears to be a pretty resounding no. First of all, they get their asses kicked. Then they try to flee, but there are these holes in the ground. They're slime pits filled with tar or something like that, and a bunch of people fall into them. The kings of Sodom and Gomorrah may or may not be among those people, but they don't die, and eventually everyone who doesn't die just runs for the hills. Literally. Kedorlaomer high-fives his buddies, and then they go off to the now undefended cities, Sodom and Gomorrah, to take whatever they want, which appears to be everything. Now we all know that Lot moved to Sodom. He's apparently living in the city now. And these 4 kings just show up, take him prisoner, and steal all his stuff. Not a great day for Lot. Meanwhile, Abram is still hanging out near the oak trees of Mamre. And it turns out that Mamre is actually just some guy with a passion for oak trees. He's an Amorite, so his people got screwed over by Kedorlaomer as well. And Abram is apparently a Hebrew. That just comes out of nowhere, and we get no explanation on what it means to be a Hebrew. Anyway, we got bigger issues to deal with. Some dude managed to flee Sodom, and he comes to tell Abram that the 4 asshole kings have taken Lot prisoner. Now, either Abram has gotten a lot more courageous since Egypt, or he just cares more about Lot than about his wife. Because this time, he doesn't fucking hesitate to right this wrong. He's basically the leader of his own tribe, right? Or he's a slave owner, I'm not really sure. But he has 318 men who were born in his camp who have been trained to fight. And they're basically his servants, so he takes them all with him. Mamre joins too, and possibly driven by FOMO, Mamre's brothers Eshcol and Aner join too. The more the merrier, right? By the time they catch up with Kedorlaomer, they're in a place called Dan. They wait for nightfall, split up into 2 groups, and attack. Now remember, they're attacking not 1, but 4 kings, who seem to have conquered everyone they ever fought, while Abram and his guys seem to have no experience whatsoever. But does this matter? Of course not. Abram scares the crap out of them, and they run away to Hobah, north of Damascus. But Abram wants his fucking nephew back, so he follows them and eventually beats them. He frees Lot and all the other prisoners and takes back all the stuff they stole as well. On the way back, he meets up with the king of Sodom in the valley of Shaphe, also known as the King's Valley. They're joined by Melchizedek, the king of Salem. And I gotta say that this guy seems to be a bit of a con man. First of all, he says he's a priest of the Most High God. Which raises the question, who's the second Most High God? I thought there was only one. Does God have a little brother we don't know about? Or is God the little brother? Abram doesn't ask any of those questions though, and Melchizedek doesn't expand on it. Instead, he brings out bread and wine, blesses Abram, prays that God blesses him too, and praises God. Now, I get it. Seems innocent, right? But ask yourself this. What the fuck is this guy even doing here? Melchizedek of Salem? Salem wasn't even involved. He just waited till the fighting was over and invited himself to the after party. And what is this whole I'm a priest thing? He's literally talking to God's best friend. When is the last time God put the Pharaoh in the hospital to help you, Melchizedek? Yeah, that's what I thought. For some reason though, Abram just doesn't see through this guy at all. He actually rewards his little performance by giving him 10% of the loot. Unbelievable. The king of Sodom, on the other hand, appears to be a reasonable guy. He says, please return the people that you freed to me, and you can keep all the stuff for yourself. But Abram says, no. I promised the Most High God that I wouldn't take anything that belonged to you. And yeah, he actually says the Most High God. It's really annoying, but it appears to be catching on. And that's that. He refuses to be paid. He only accepts the food that his men ate, but he does say that Mamre and his brothers should get a cut because they helped with the fighting.